everyone, and welcome to Saloon Build episode 22. In this episode, we're going to be building and installing the bar for the saloon, and I'll take you through that process. So let's get started here. So this is what I've came up with so far. The frame is just going to be built out of 2x2 construction. And I'm using a lot of the wood that was left over from the unbuild series that I did. So I'm just ripping it down to 2x2s, fairly, decent straight lumber. So that's good for a frame. And just judging off the bar we have in our basement that I'm basing my design off of, I think 3 feet is about right at the back, and then we'll go 4 feet at the front for that stepped up ledge. And that foot should be enough to put a whiskey bottle under there or something. That's sort of what I'll aim for. But yeah, we'll keep building here. Now here I've got something that's starting to resemble a bar frame. I'm gonna get this top piece all figured out, and then we'll go from there. So I've got a bit more done here. Got a centerpiece. I decided to just sort of split it into 2 panels. I was considering 3, but if you think about bar stools, I did want 3 bar stools here, but there just won't really be enough room. It would be too crowded. So I think 2 bar stools will work, and then it'll sort of be 2 different panels. And I just did a full 2x4 here, because if I ripped it in half, then I would have had an extra 2x2 that I wouldn't have been able to use anywhere. And then I just got some extra supports in the middle here. So yeah, now I'll move on to the next step. I don't really know what that is, but we're gonna see what'll be easiest. Now I was trying to find some boards that looked really nice, but with recycled lumber, that's not always an option. And I didn't want to tear that whole stack apart. So what I did was found some that sort of had cool character to them, like kind of this multi-tone staining. Like it actually looks kind of cool. So I think I'll put these dirty side up. Like that's the clean side, which looks okay, but there's really nothing special about it. This at least has some character. And I'm just pulling the nails out, and then I'll probably put a polyurethane coating, like a really heavy polyurethane, just to smoothen it out so you don't get slivers, and it's sort of wipeable. And then like this dirt won't be flaking off or whatever. So that should look kind of cool. So it's getting late here, getting dark, but this is what I got done so far. Not bad for a few hours work, but yeah, come again tomorrow. So I've started on the bottom with just a piece of shiplap. I put it the right way so the siding will go over. The reason I did just shiplap on the bottom is because I'll put a rough sawn, like baseboard piece, and then do all the trim in rough sawn too. So let's go take a look through the siding pile. I'm just gonna try and use this stuff that I pulled out of the garbage, just because my other pile, I may have a potential buyer for the whole thing. So I already told him what was there, so I don't want to take from it. But we'll try and use some of these pieces. There's some nice ones in here. I'll try and pick, some good weathering stuff that I like the look of that piece right there. So it shouldn't take too much, so I'll dig through it and see what I can find. So just going on the siding here, I think it's turning out not too bad. I'm trying to, split them sometimes just to give that, difference between the 2 sides. But then I'm putting straight ones just to keep everything level. So I'll just sort of alternate and see what happens. So now I'm gonna work on the border that'll go on here, and for that I'm just gonna use a 2x4. I went through the stack and sort of found the nicest one I could. This one's got really nice grain. It's actually got a bit of texture to it. That grain is raised a bit, so that's gonna be pretty nice. It's not too chipped or anything, so it shouldn't be too bad for getting slivers. The top of it is nice, so that'll be a good one to use on the front. And then on the back, I found this one, you know, still nice, but just not as tight a grain, so I'll put that one on the back, I think. Now, isn't that just the nicest 2x4 you've ever seen? To think that this would have been like, you know, lesser grade lumber back in the day and was used on a grain bin. That's just incredible, just the tight growth rings. Really nice piece. So now I'm just working on the trim. I got some of this rough sawn 1x8. It was, you know, I don't think it's supposed to be rough because there's only a few in that stack that I have. So I picked out sort of the nicest rough ones, and I did a full 1x8 on the bottom, and then I ripped a 1x8 in half to do the verticals. And then I'll just sort of try and figure out what to do with this corner here. It'll be a little bit goofy, but that was just sort of poor design on my part. I should have made it so it floated out a little bit more, but oh well, it'll work. So we made it to the lake with the bar. Now, next job will be getting it into the saloon, which hopefully it fits through that door. I never really took that into any consideration, but I'm sure it will. Worst case scenario, I guess I just pop this top piece off and then it should fit just fine. But yeah, let's get it rough fit into place. Now, something tells me that this might not fit. Might be like a 1/4 inch big, but I'll give it a try. Now, if that's not cutting it close for tolerance, I don't know what is. It couldn't have been an 1/8 bigger and it wouldn't have fit. And it is in. It was a little bit tight on this door. Might have to touch up the stain a bit there, but yeah, other than that, no damage. So I'll just sort of have to figure out where exactly I want it. I think this will be right about where it goes. That's sort of how I envisioned it. You know, enough walking room. Everything's pretty tight, but that's just sort of what we're dealing with. Not much you can do about it. I could have left it a little bit shorter, but then you really don't have a whole lot of room. So, because there's got to be a fridge, an ice maker, a bit of shelving, that kind of stuff. So, yeah. Here we go. A little lake video. So we got a nice fire going, but I asked Austin tonight if he would do a little work on the saloon. So what he's doing is he's going to cover this surface so that we have a countertop. So we were wondering if we should put, what kind of product we should put on there. So he said, well, let's stick with the theme, like the galvanized theme. And so he's got this galvanized metal, but it's kind of unique. It's got like, it's more like a white color. And so he's done, you can't really see the top, he's done this. But it is absolutely the nicest countertop I've ever seen. Can't imagine where it's so unique where you'd even actually see it. So he's bending right now. Oh, here he comes. It's getting dark already, but there's the stuff. Oh, has he got a little bit on this one?
And this is just going to be so nice to keep clean, and it's going to be better than a slate countertop or a marble countertop. And it just looks so cool. I would think that the only place you would get this is maybe in a bar, but it's so unique. I've never seen anything like this. Okay, here we are, finished product. Just kind of stacked everything back here, but we've got the perfect countertop now. We're all set up here again, got the ice machine. But this is just going to be so nice to keep clean. A little white and just the most perfect, durable countertop. Done quickly. I love it. It looks good. Look at that, eh? Incredible. Yeah, like it. Awesome. It looks great.
So I wanted to throw a little bit more into this episode. I put this galvanized top on the bar. I think it's a little bit better than the wood. It just looks a bit cleaner. It's easy to wipe and keep clean. And then I also put this bottle opener on the side. This was sent to me by Shirley from Vancouver, and turns out it works perfectly in the saloon here. I went in my old screw bucket. I always keep some old screws, just miscellaneous screws, and I found some perfect period correct ones that fit that countersink just right. They got the slotted screw head. She said in her letter that I believe, it's been a while since I read it, but I think it came out of her house that was built in 1912. I'll have to double check, but thank you, Shirley, for that stuff you sent me. That bottle opener fits perfectly there. Now, what I'm doing outside is I'm gonna paint another sign. So I got it projected there. It's an old Gilby's whiskey advertisement. It looks sort of goofy being projected onto the tin, but we'll see how it turns out. Hopefully it looks all right. I don't know, that's the front of the building there. I think it'll look sort of cool there. But yeah, I'll get it all traced up and we'll see what happens. So it's the next morning and I got everything traced. It's a little bit wobbly just because it was quite hard to go over these corrugations, especially with a pencil because you had to press pretty firmly. But I didn't want to do a Sharpie just because, you know, it might leave too bold of a line, and at least the pencil, you know, it'll wipe off if it doesn't work out. But yeah, I guess worst case scenario, I'll just flip these sheets around if it looks terrible. But I just wanted to give it a try because I always wanted an advertisement or two on the side of here, so I'll get painting and see what happens. So I'd say that's turning out all right so far. I just got a little bit more there to do in the yellow, and then I think I'll do the background in black, and then there's gonna be a white highlight that goes around all those letters. But yeah, that's turning out not too bad. Obviously when you look at it up close, it looks like a hand-painted sign, but it's not supposed to be perfect. Like, the old hand-painted signs weren't perfect, so you want it to actually look hand-painted and not like you just put a sticker on there. Alright, so I got all the orangey yellow color done. Now I'm gonna move on to white. I'm gonna do like a border I'll just like paint the J channel, I guess, and then come across with like just a 1-inch border. I could just leave it like this, but it's sort of reflective and kind of hard to read. It looks too much like a sticker. So I'll try and, you know, define it a bit, paint the inside black, but I'll go with white for now. So that's the finished product. I think it turned out all right. I mean, close up it looks pretty bad, but you know, when you stand far away, it looks like a normal sign, sort of. And that's kind of the point. Like, I mean, I don't claim to be an artist by any means, but it just sort of gives it that look of like an old time, you know, painted on the side of the building advertisement. And I'm sure, you know, when you look up close at those signs, they're not perfect either. But yeah, try and get a far back view. Sort of fits the theme nicely. So thank you everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed Saloon Build episode 22. I'll be back next spring, summer sometime to do episode 23. I still have some stuff to do there. And I'm actually filming this portion the night that I release this video, so I apologize for no videos lately, but everything's been good with me. The business side of things has been going really well this summer, so I just kind of focused on that a little bit rather than putting together videos, because it does take a lot of work. But I do have a lot of content filmed that now that it's winter, I'll probably get to releasing here probably every Friday or so again. So yeah, stay tuned for more videos, and thanks for watching.